This is why I drink. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Cubist. My name is Bill Corey. I am the Cubist, and my cup does not have booze in it, which is probably a mistake. Tonight, we start our new part-time format. We'll explain more in a second. First, let's introduce our host. First off, we have Kimberly Revia. Hello, Kimberly. How are you?
Hello, Bill. I'm well. How are you?
I am excellent. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. We also have Brandon Kempf here. Brandon,
Hello. Well rested and raring to go.
Yes, just fresh back from Geekway. I'm sad I missed it this year. I'll be there next year.
You better. This new place was quite awesome.
Yeah, I know. I saw a bunch of pictures of it. It looked pretty sweet. I am impressed. Yes. So, lovely viewers, as you're watching the show, quick heads up. We are test driving a new format. Now, this is not going to be the format for every show, as much as some of us would like it to be a full-time change. What this is, we're going to kind of test drive a way to mix things up a little bit. So instead of every show being a guest and a main topic, so to speak, instead of the guest, the main topic will be what we're going to call a deep dive. So we're going to take a classic game, something that we've all played, and kind of dive into it a little bit, explore the game a little bit more, give opinions. And I think this is going to be really cool because these opinions will come now that we are maybe more informed gamers than we were when we first learned the game. I think that there's something to be said for looking back on games that we experienced early with a more mature eye. And yes, mature, even considering it's the three of us goobers. So you never know. Anyway, I have high hopes. So without further ado, let's start with what is still and always going to be our first segment of this show. Every time, no matter yes. I should make you go first.
Matt already fed me a description.
So we're gonna start with our what have we played recently segment, just like we always do. This part won't change. So I will start so that way, Kimberly, you have a minute to compose yourself and figure out what exactly Matt typed. There you go. So today I played the Manhattan Project Energy Empire for the second time. So I played it once when it basically first came out. The good Captain buys a lot, picked up a copy, brought it down, and we had played it the one time, I want to say with 3 players. And it never hit the table again until today. So I had basically forgotten almost everything about the game. For those of you that don't know, it is a spiritual successor to the Manhattan Project, hence the name. I say spiritual successor because the flow of play is exactly the same as the original Manhattan Project. On your turn, you're either going to put out workers and do stuff, including activating buildings that you may have already built, or you're going to pick up your workers and reset your board. Those are your two options. And then across those options, if you're playing pieces out, then you'll get to activate other buildings that match the color of the action space you took. And if you're picking pieces up, you'll generate energy, and energy are sort of like the temporary workers that you had from the other game, right? So there's sort of a blanket version that you can use to pump up other actions. And I'm glossing over it really hard here. You also have a weird little spatial mechanic where you generate pollution that you have to put on your little environment board. And at the end of the game, every pollution you have out there, you lose points, or I guess not gain points. That's the same as losing, right? Can we just, yeah. That's the same. That's close enough. So just like all the other Manhattan Project games, this game is pretty. The iconography is pretty solid. It looks good on the table. It's pretty easy to understand like how everything works. I do think that there is a little bit of a layout fail in the main board. This bugs me for some reason in a way that I can't describe exactly. You have oblong cardboard pieces as your workers and energy, but the spaces they want you to put them in are not tall enough to put them right way up. So you have to put them sideways, which looks janky compared to everything else on the board, right? Like it's just a weird little thing, but it threw me off over and over and over again. It's just a layout fail. And it was just, it's minor, but it was one of those things where, and I feel like I'm rambling, but really quick, you know how sometimes all you need is something that distracts you and takes your brain far enough away from a thing that it reduces things for you? Does that make sense?
Yes.
This was that, right? It was just enough that it just made me a little crazy, and every time I looked at it, it pissed me off. So I really like the game. I like it a lot more this time than I did last time. I think it's better than Manhattan Project, especially at lower player counts. Manhattan Project at 2 players is just rude. This is a lot more forgiving and engine buildery, which I really dig. So I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's on the scale. Yeah, it's a buy it. I think this is a buy it. Even with that fail, I think it's good. Now, Kimberly, have you played it with Matt? I see Matt in the chat says that he hasn't played it since New Year's.
Yep.
You played just the one time?
Just the one time at New Year's, yeah.
Okay. Brandon, you played?
Neither one.
No, neither at all. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, you haven't played the original Manhattan Project either. Okay. All right, got it. Yeah, I think Brandon, from what I know of your style, your taste in games, I think you would like this one.
It's always been on my short list radar, kind of something that I wanted to play or pick up, but I just never have. So, but it looks fun. Nothing like playing with nukes.
Yeah, and the neat thing about this one is that this game really does not outstay its welcome. This game has a good pace to it. The first time we played it 3 players, and I felt like the game ended a little too soon. Like I feel like the wheels came off the wagon about a turn and a half before I thought they should have, like a natural feel. But I think that was just inexperience. The second play, I definitely had a better mission statement, and I felt like the game just was paced right. So I really like it.
Gotcha. I don't know.
Very cool.
I've heard great things about it. Just haven't.
Yeah, it's good. So I will give. I'll give it it's a confident buy it. It's a buy it. It's a good one. I think that it's. I don't know, like a couple little things, but other than that, yeah, it's good. It's real good. I might have to pick up a copy for myself. Kimberly, did we buy you enough time?
Matt gave me the description before we started.
Just checking. All right, Kimberly, what have you played recently?
Okay, I played Little Devils, which is published by Stronghold and designed by, I'm going to butcher this. Hold on one second here. Designed by Michael Feldcoder.
Sure.
Yep.
We'll take it.
Yep.
I'll allow it.
It is classified as a trick taker, but it's kind of the opposite. You don't really want to take the tricks. It's a little bit 6-nimpty, and you want the smaller number of the little devil heads, just like you want the smallest number possible of the bull's heads.
Yep.
6-nimps.
Okay.
We played over a variety of rounds. We played 1 round per player. I don't know if that's the standard or if it's always 6 rounds. But you play tricks at a time, and you have to play within a range. So the first person plays a card, the person next to them plays a card, higher or lower, as close as possible, and then everybody else is trying to play between the 2.
Okay.
And if you cannot, then you are obviously more likely to take the trick if you're further away. But if you play the opposite way, so if they go up from the number and you play down, you're automatically going to lose.
Okay.
So then you're going to have to take all the cards. And again, like 6-nimps, the amounts of devil heads vary per card.
Sure.
Adds up quickly.
I would assume like less valuable cards probably have.
I think much like 6-nimps, it was the ones that ended with 5 that
Oh,
have
okay.
more bull's heads.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Gotcha.
It's basically if a standard trick taker and 6-nimps had a baby.
Excellent.
But plenty of room for smack talk and
Mm-hmm.
and attacking and you know.
I remember seeing a
fun.
I remember seeing a couple pictures of this over the week. It was probably from you. I don't really remember, but I assume so. And it looks cute. Like I like the art style.
Yeah, it's pretty cute, and it comes in one of those little tin box things. You're fine. Like
Okay.
the other.
Yeah.
According to the lovely Matthew Roy, it's like $9 on Amazon.
Okay.
So it's a nice cheap game. I think I've seen it for like $5 on CSI when they do the sale thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
And on the Cubist scale, I would rank it as a buy it.
Yeah. Because it's so cheap.
And if you like the 6-nimpty trick taker, yeah,
Is
it's
it
good for a
better
larger group like that.
Is it better than 6-nimpt?
I don't think it's necessarily better, but there's still room in the collection because it's different enough.
It's different enough. Okay.
Mhm.
Gotcha. Yeah, it sounds cool. I like 6-nimpt. I like that style of game, just something light and trash talky, and you can just kind of pick a effing
It's
card.
a good end of the night, pick an effing card.
Gotcha.
Snack talking group game.
Yeah, something where you don't really feel like you have to take it real seriously no matter what's going on. That's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, Little Devils from Stronghold Games.
Little Devils by Stronghold.
And who designed it?
Michael Feldcotter.
I just wanted to get you to say that again. Well done. Kimberly, you're awesome. Very good. All right, that's Little Devils. Brandon.
Yes, sir.
Have you played games?
I haven't played anything in like months. It's this dry spell. It's weird. I'm just kidding.
You were a Geekway. If you didn't play games.
I wasn't going to talk really about anything specific. I was just going to kind of say that I played a lot at Geekway, and that Geekway is awesome. But I will say, for one thing, since we talked to them last week, I do have that sitting here.
Ooh, nice.
And I played 0 Hour for like a bit. He showed me the quick rundown of it while we were at Fancy Gaming, so hauled it. So I'm looking forward to playing that more. What did I play? I taught games at the Stronghold booth for about 8 hours this weekend.
Yeah, you did.
And I taught an awful lot of a game called Frog Riders from the fine. Dang it! And I had his name in my head.
You were doing so well. You were on a roll too. I could feel your pattern working there. It was good.
Yes. Just stop for a second. But I was teaching games there, and I was teaching the majority of what I taught was Frog Riders from Philip. Was it Philip? Come on.
We're gonna go with Philip.
My computer's delaying me. Harding Granerud. That's who it was. The fine gentleman who gave us Flamme Rouge and 13 Days. Frog Riders, if you can imagine it, is kind of like on a board, similar sort of like a Chinese checkers thing. And you've got multiple little Frog Riders that are on the board, and they're in 4 different colors. So just like Chinese checkers, what you're taking is you're taking a Frog Rider and you're jumping over one. Now, why would you do that? Because those Frog Riders have special powers that they give you when you turn them in. And ultimately, you're just trying to collect points. And these powers will allow you to manipulate and do different things that are going to give you more points. And it's a really fun, lightweight game it's 20 minutes. I taught it probably about 24 to 30 times this weekend.
Oh, wow.
I sat there and basically played in all but about 3 of them because we never quite had a full 4-person table. So I'm kind of tired of it. We'll mumble that real quick.
No, that is in the chat. I'm just saying.
Yes. I know. Well, and that's the thing, right? Is that I'm sorry not to interrupt, but it's hard for people that enjoy games to realize that when you demo the same thing over and over and over again, no matter how good the game is, eventually you just want to chuck the box through a wall.
Yep.
Right? Like no matter how good the game is, at some point you get to the point where you're like, nope, I don't ever.
And it is a fantastic little game that my kids wanted. And I will probably get it sooner or later just because they wanted it and they had a really good time when they played it.
You didn't take it as a reward for demoing?
No, I took Fields of Green. Anyway.
Yeah. I was going to say, which video game did you take? Yeah.
I took Fields of Green, and he gave me a copy of Get the Cheese, which is the other one I taught off and on, which is just another little quick card game. I did the lightweight stuff and watched the other guys do Not Alone in Fields of Green.
I think that's the way to do it, probably. I demoed 504 when I demoed for Stronghold.
It was a lot of fun watching the kids play with the parents because there was a lot of that at Geekway. It's a wonderful little family kind of place. And so there were lots of groups. It was like one parent and like a kid or two parents and a kid. And we just sat there and we played it. But it's good. And if you are a family and you have younger kids who like to play games and you like little, the plastic little Frog Rider bits are going to sell them on it. It's awesome. They look good. It's a buy it. If you're like me right now, it's a play it. I'm not going to burn it.
It's not
I'm not going to throw it through a window. It's not a forget it because I will pick it up eventually. But it was good. But Frog Riders is what I played about, we'll call it 25, 30 times this weekend.
That's not right. That's how demo.
Back in my demo days when I was demoing for Mayfair in their booth, there was one particular year, and this was back in their early days of importing all the Cosmos titles, all the big box Cosmos games. I demoed the game Nautilus for 2 tables simultaneously at Gen Con for 4 days straight.
Yeah.
And I really like that game. And holy poop, did I not want to even crack the box for about 3 years after that weekend. Like, I'm like, nope. And I really liked that game. Like, I was the demo guy because I was really sold on it. But by the end of the convention, I was done. As a matter of fact, I just looked at it today and thought, no. Like 10 years later, and I'm still a little scarred. It's still on my shelf, though. It hasn't been culled.
And I will say, this was the first time I've ever demoed or ever done anything like this at a convention.
Oh, really?
And I won't hesitate to do it again.
Yeah.
So. Steven was good to work for, though, too. So
He is very
maybe
good.
it's different. He brought us water. He'd walk off. He'd bring us sandwiches. You know, he treats everybody right.
He does. He treats his booth workers well.
Yep.
Well, one of these days, I might even do it at PGG this year. I don't know. Maybe I'll see if I can suck up to somebody and do a little bit of demo work. Only a little. I would want to do a day, you know, or something like that. But I don't know. We'll see.
I will say, other than that, I played Via Nebula was probably the biggest surprise that I actually really enjoyed that game. You got to clear the fog, man. You got to clear the fog.
Played that?
Yep. First time I played it. It was good.
I have not. Cool. All right. Well, there you go. And I just got to say, I didn't go to Geekway this year, and my heart broke over and over and over again. Luckily, I was extremely busy. I was DJing. Adam McIver and Carrie Rundle got married this weekend in Cincinnati, and I was fortunate enough to have been asked to be the DJ for their wedding. So I was in Cincinnati the entire weekend, surrounded by other gamers. Matter of fact, got to see my friend Alex Kevern, who I haven't seen in a long time. Alex was there, Adam was there, lots of gamer folks. Jason Katarski was the officiant of the wedding from Green Couch Games. So that was just a really cool bunch of folks. Anyway, I didn't get to play a single game except for a couple things on my iPad, but yeah. So anyway, my point is Geekway is amazing, and I'm already working my schedule for next year.
Yep.
I'm already next year too.
Making sure to clear it. Yeah.
I got to meet Matt Franz, who was in the chat there. I got to meet him at Geekway, and I got to hang out with the Mile High Game guys, and I got to hang out with I tried to hang out with everyone, but it's hard when you're chasing two kids around and you're also demoing, and you're just also, you know, Brad and Kate were there. Brad and Kate were there, and they brought their 8-month-old. So So they were playing up in their room a lot, so we were trying not to leave them alone. So So I was missing a lot. And I should have talked about Flatline. Damn it.
You know what? Go for it.
Talk about
Here, that'll be next week. I want to play it. I want to play it with my family. You know, a group that doesn't curse at me and tell me I'm awful. So,
all right. So there you go. Cliffhanger. We have 2 cliffhangers for next week. We got some news dropping that we can't quite talk about yet. But yep, we are mere days away from some big news. So Ben, my regular gaming buddy Ben is in the chat room right now. Ben, Geekway is in St. Louis, Missouri.
Ben.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, I can't say St. Louis anymore. I have to say it's in St. Charles.
Oh, St. Charles. It's St. Louis, dude.
Yes, I know.
It's freaking St. Louis. That's like people in Palatine saying it's not Chicago. Screw you. It's Chicago to everyone that isn't in Chicago already. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things where it's a big enough city, but nobody cares because it's still Chicago. So no, Ben and anybody else watching or in the chat, Geekway, totally worth it. Make a point of it. It's one of those, I think, that aside from to me gaming hoopla, because that's just real personal to me. Aside from the hoopla, I think that Geekway and BGG are a solid 1-2 for like destination conventions for size and dealer hall and like events and stuff like that. And then there are up and comers. You know, Granite Game Summit is really good. You know, Hoopla's getting there. There's a couple others. Grand Con in Grand Rapids is really good. There's a bunch of other ones, but I would say, like, if you want that medium big convention experience, Geekway and BGG are neck and neck, my humble opinion.
Yep, 2,200 paid this year.
That's BGG size.
2,500 counting vendors and all the free badges. So
wow,
that's what we saw there.
They blew up.
It never felt more crowded. It never felt crowded. Remember how we kind of felt crowded last year? Never felt that. You could move. You could walk between tables. You could. Oh, it was beautiful. So
venue. Sounds
like
a venue.
How was it? Was it sad not being able to walk to Fuzzies?
It was sad, but it was a quicker drive to
Sponsored, unofficial sponsor.
Yes, it was a quicker drive to Sugar Fire.
Oh, that's all right then.
And there was decent food in there. It was convention food. And here I'm going to give you the negative for the new venue. You can't bring food and drink out there, and they were fairly strict about it.
Ugh.
Oh.
They saw people. We were doing battling tops, which is allowed. Raucous people are drinking things.
Mm-hmm.
They ran people out of there who had beers because it was not bought from the hotel. So
what a bunch of poo.
You got to watch that. So, but that's what happens when you get to those big convention centers. They have their own places. The hotel has a bar. The hotel sells beer. The hotel sells food. You know.
Yep. And the convenience store sells flasks. I mean, I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
Exactly. No, there were ways around it, and we did find it. I'm just saying.
Hard though. You have to give it to him. A good venue that fits what you want is really freaking difficult.
Exactly. And if that's the
you have to right. Yeah.
If that's the worst thing that happens, I have to hide my drinking. So be it.
On the bright side, at the way that we're going, in about 10 years, that'll be a life skill for you. So you'll be good. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Ben was asking about the food. It's conference center food. It's gonna, a thing of nachos is gonna cost you $6. So a little bit cheaper than Ballpark, more expensive than other places.
That's fair. That's fair.
All right, let's move on to the Spiel noms, kids.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Let's talk.
Keeping us on track.
So, for the three of you that may be watching and aren't aware, the nominations for the Spiel des Jahres award were announced this past weekend. So this is the big award in Germany. There are three major categories that we're going to talk about, which is the Spiel des Jahres, the main award, which is intended for families. This is a family-style game that the panel of judges, or I think they call them a jury, actually. I did a little bit of research.
Jury, yeah.
Yes, the jury has judged our great choices for a family that have a board game night. Then there is the Kenner Spiel, which sounds like the kids' game and means exactly the opposite. Think of this as like the next step game. So a family, it is still targeted at families. This is important.
It is, yep.
It is targeted at families, but this is these are games for families that are accustomed to playing board games already. So this is like next level stuff. Super heavy stuff is not going to factor in even in a Kenner Spiel, okay? And then the third one is the Kinderspiel, which is the kids' game. Now this is for young families with young children, or for just the children themselves in some cases, depending on the game and the year. Really feel like this is the one that I feel like the jury tends to vary a little bit on, because sometimes these games, like for instance, Ice Cool is one of the Kinderspiel nominations. I would not think of that as just a kids game.
No, I would think of that more as a drunken late night.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But I mean, they have it listed as a kids game, whereas the other two, Captain Silver and the Mysterious Forest especially, are much more what we would normally think of, I think, as kids games. So
Ice Cool is a dexterity, penguin flicking.
Yes. So since we're here, we're already talking about those. So and then the other thing, by the way, is that they also give the sort of honorable mentions, which they call them the recommendation list. So these are the games that aren't quite in the running for the award, but that they think are also solid choices. Yeah. So I know nothing about any of the Kinderspiel games except Ice Cool. That's the only one that I have played or even seen in person. Do you guys?
Yeah. The Mysterious Forest was a Essen release, if I'm not mistaken, and we actually talked about it when we did our hangout, but I never picked it up because it's not here yet. But it's basically just based on a comic book strip, the Mysterious Forest. It's not a comic; it's a web comic, I think.
I got you.
But if I'm not mistaken, it's just kind of a dice rolling memory game.
Okay.
So, but with beautiful art done like the comic strip. So.
Even the recommendations, I have no idea about in this one.
No, I didn't even see the recommendations for the kids.
I have children.
Chicky Boom, Chicky Boom, Color Hexa, Lagoonies, Outfoxed, Sleeping Queens, and Wizardry to the Power of 3.
Outfoxed is actually a fairly popular one. It was released. You can buy that like in big spec stores, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yep.
No clue.
Yeah.
No, I'm lost on all these. So, all right. So
All right,
then
who are we
let's.
thinking might get that one?
I'm sorry.
Who do you think might actually win that one? Are
Well,
we making predictions? I know
out
we
of
don't really
out
know
of the
enough about
9
the
of
other
those, I have seen or heard of one. So I will go with my normal theory and root for the one that I know something about. So yeah, I don't know. Ice Cool is
So Ice
really a cool, like,
Very Mhm.
It's really good though. It's really good, and it's nice.
I think the theme of it sells it as a kid's game more so than the adult
Yeah,
drunken
I
late
suppose.
night game.
That's fair.
So
Then again,
I was just
some of
going to
the
agree
people-
with you here.
Some of the people that we know that do drunken late night gaming though pick really weird games for that anyway.
This
Looking
is
at you, Darden. I'm just saying, anybody named Darden are immediately suspicious or possibly retarded.
Mhm.
Those are your
Yeah.
bad influence, folks. But yeah, and I don't know. I can't. I mean, I'm blind guessing here on Kinderspiel. No clue.
All right. Let's
Yeah, the
move on to next
Kinder's
one.
a toss up. I'd say Ice Cool too, but
Okay.
I really
It'd
don't know.
probably go
I'm
to the-
going to go with the other dice rolly matching one.
Mysterious
there
Forest.
you go.
That one. I'm
Yeah.
going with Mysterious.
There you go.
Forest.
Sure. It's the prettiest
Pretty
of the
hot on the
three.
limb.
Yep.
It
it's
is.
pretty. I did look at pictures. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love the cover art.
Mm-hmm.
So all right.
I like that Queen Games is starting to do some of these kids games too. They showed them off last year. BGG was showing them on the S and stuff, and I haven't seen much about them. But
Well, but this is Queen Games like version 7.0 at this point. Like
Yes,
I
I
have
know.
no idea which version of Queen Games this is, so it's hard for me to even say I'm glad they're doing this now because it feels like there's different people at the helm every 2 years.
Yeah.
Like and that's literally I have no idea. So there you go. All right, moving on. Moving on to the Kenner Spiel. So this is the more advanced, still family games. The nominees are Exit the Game, the secret. It's the series, I think. It's not
Yes.
specifically the Secret
Right.
Lab.
I believe so.
So it's the series. Raiders of the North Sea and Terraforming Mars.
Yes.
I will say, if Terraforming Mars wins, this will be the heaviest game that has ever won the Kenner
Yes.
by quite a bit. Village was
Yes.
like the previous, like rated like at a 3.06 or something like that.
Okay. Here's what I'm going to say. I don't think Terraforming Mars is actually as heavy as people peg it for. And the reason why I say that is this. Terraforming Mars is a very natural leap from Magic the Gathering or any TCG. It really is. And I know this because I have taught it to people that do not play heavy games, but do play Magic, and they instantly grokked it. So, so Magic is not heavy, but it's deep, right? And I think that Terraforming Mars is the same way. I think that it's more accessible than people give it credit for.
It's I don't know. It's a text on cards game, and then automatically people are going to say it's heavier than it needs to because I got to read.
Yeah, well, no, and I don't disagree with that.
There's a lot of reading. I just
Now-
wanted to play it.
Yeah.
A lot of reading.
Now, having said that, though, Exit the Game has the fact that it's like a one shot,
Yeah, it's a throwaway game.
right?
Yeah.
It's got Inca.
It's not even one that can be reset. Yep.
Yep, it's got the brands behind it, so it automatically gets
Right.
love. And the committee will say that there's no favoritism, no nothing, but just who gets nominated every year. Let's just say
Right.
it.
Sure, but that makes me wonder. I mean, and this is a side comment, but are the brands are they the filmmakers that know how to make Oscar-winning movies that nobody watches? Like you know what I mean? Like I'm not being mean because I think that they've made a number of games that I really like. I'm just saying that if they get nominated every year, maybe they just know how to play into the wheelhouse of this.
Which we can kind of discuss later when we talk about something that got snubbed.
Oh.
Well, let's look at
the other one. That's in the Kenner. Or no, that's in
We're
the
in Kenner.
Spiel.
The
No, it's in the
Okay.
Spiel that got snubbed. So
Okay. All right. So we'll come back to that. And then Raiders of the North Sea, of the three of these in the Kenner Spiel, this is to me the most typical Spiel title
Yeah.
of these three, right? Like this
and
is
it's also the complete surprise.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, but I mean it's the closest to what they usually nominate, right?
Yeah.
Like it feels like the safest of the three.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
That's what makes me think it won't win because they went with outside choices as well.
That's
They
true.
went a little wild on the other two choices. It makes me think they're going to go with one of those instead of the safer.
Okay, so we have a throwaway game. We've got a game with bad graphic design according to every human being that isn't me on the planet.
But it's
And
a great game.
But it's a great game. And with components and with bad anyway. And then we have a game that nobody thought would be in this running.
And it fits right there at the 2.5 rating that gets the Kenner.
It does. Yeah.
Or at the rating, at the weight.
Yeah, 2.57.
Yep.
As opposed to 3.24, as opposed to 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So is that your pick?
It is.
Okay.
And I wish one of the recommendeds were give me those 4 recommendeds before any of those.
I think it's going to go to Exit.
Yeah.
See, and I'm going to pick
And I think
Terraforming
that's
Mars.
going to anger people because of the disposable thing. I would love for it to go to Terraforming Mars. I just would be very surprised.
Yep.
I'm picking the dark horse and going with Terraforming Mars because I think, I'm used to
I said I thought that they would get a nom, and everybody disagreed with me.
Yep.
I think the reason that I think it's going to is because I don't know. I just feel like it's got
It's
legs.
a runaway.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody who's hated it.
Yeah.
Like,
I do know
not a single person who has told me they hated the game.
I know, and I have seen a number of what I think of as hipster conversations where they're like, "Oh, yawn, it's just another blah."
Yeah, that's different.
Whatever. Those are the people that hate the things that are cool to hate this week, in my humble opinion. So I don't know. All right, so we're split 3 ways on this one, eh?
Yeah.
All right. On the bright side, we have a clear winner when this gets announced, and there will be full on yin yang. Hey, the suggestions for this one, by the way, the Big Book of Madness, Captain Sonar.
I was going to say these
Hammer
4 that you're about to say would have been better choices than any of the 3.
3 of them would have been better choices. I do not agree with Captain Sonar. I think the other 3 would all be solid choices.
I've not played Captain Sonar yet.
You almost got cursed at. Sorry.
That's fine. That's fine. The recommendations list for Kenner Spiel is the Big Book of Madness, Captain Sonar, Great Western Trail, and the Grizzled.
Yep.
The one that everybody's grumping about not getting a nomination is Great Western Trail.
Yep.
And I agree with it not being nominated. As good as it is, and it is good, it is not an intuitive game. It's really hard to get your brain around.
See, and I think Terraforming Mars is pretty intuitive.
It is very intuitive.
I think that's what makes it
not
so heavy. It's mechanically pretty intuitive. And
yeah, it absolutely is.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Grizzled is really good and has a lot going for it, both in art style and uniqueness of theme and play. I'm actually surprised it's on this year's list.
That's what I was just going to say. Did it just get released?
No. So no. Okay. So the rule is that it can be from, I actually looked this up too, from January 1st in this year's time frame, just so I can explain it right. From January 1st, 2016 until March 31st, 2017 is the year. So now the next year's awards will be from January of this year to March of next year.
Year. But
so it's like a 15-month year.
What? But they anything that comes before, I think, from what they're saying, could be nominated. It's their discretion.
So
because the Grizzled absolutely came out before that.
Yeah.
I played the Grizzled 2 BGGs ago, so that was 2015.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So I mean, wait, they could get a wild hair and like nominate Entdecker if they really want it. You know, they could. Just
I would from the way it sounds, yes, but they wouldn't go that far back.
But I'm saying there's no rule that says okay.
I thought it had something to do with when it's released. It has to be
in German.
It has to be in German.
One of the countries.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it had to have been reintroduced somewhere.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
All right. See, I'm gonna trigger my friend Brandon again and give my quick explanation of why I don't think Captain Sonar was why I'm glad it didn't get nominated. It is too limited a scope of game for
only
this.
Limited by the people you play with
and the number of people you play with. It's objectively not fun at less than 4.
We've had fun at 2 and 2.
That would be 4.
Yes.
Which is not less than 4.
I wouldn't play a lot of games at 2 players.
Right, but would you play them at 3 players?
I wouldn't do an escape room at 2 players. I wouldn't.
I would. I think that would be fun. Then you'd only have one other person to argue with. I don't know. I'm just. I
True.
think it's just one of those games where it's too limiting in the format. Like the format requires you to have too many specific things in play.
Yeah, that's fine.
But they wanted to acknowledge it for the unique and cool.
But if you want a step up game away from these other games that they're giving you, I wouldn't sit Terraforming Mars in front of my family that I'm teaching games to, that have played a couple of younger ones with me. I would put Captain Sonar in front of them, and I have. And they get it, and it goes, and it's fun.
See, and I put Terraforming Mars in front of my girlfriend's kids.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, they're older
They're
kids, but
adults.
they're teenagers.
Oh.
But I mean, I put it in front of them, and they had no problem. So it depends on how you look at it. Paul and Kyle in the
Yes, he explained it to us,
chat
which is what I was
explained.
trying to say. I think.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go.
That the clock starts when the game's published by a German company.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought there was something to do with where it's published mattering.
Okay,
Because it was
Okay.
released in the U.S. before it was released in Germany.
that makes sense. There you go. But it was released was it not in France first?
It's French artists. I don't know.
Well, I know because it's the Charlie
Charlie
Hebdo
Hebdo.
artist, right? Okay.
I'm not sure whether it was released first. I know it's Cool Mini or not here. I don't know if Cool Mini was the first publisher.
Right. Okay. I gotcha. Yeah. Matt in the chat room points out that you shouldn't play Captain Sonar with people with anxiety issues. That's probably half why I don't like the game. So there you go.
That might do it.
See, that would do it. All right. Moving on. The spiel, the main one, so to speak. The big award. The official nominees are King Domino. I'm sorry, King Domino. That's what we
No.
Kingdom
So-
Eno.
This is the joke that keeps on giving.
It's a game about Brian Eno and his team.
Oh Lord. Obscure much, Brandon? All right. The King Domino, Magic Maze, and El Dorado.
Eldorado's the surprise, I think. Even though it is Knizia.
Yeah. It just hasn't been released here yet, I think is the
Yep.
real. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
Emotep last year, right?
Yep. And I don't think until it got nominated we were going to see it here.
Exactly.
It's kind of the rumor. So
Which I think that was the same with Emotep. So
was it? Okay.
let's see. Yep. We'll see what happens.
Yep.
I wonder if it'll get pushed to Origins like Emotep did.
Possible.
I my entire knowledge of all three of these games is either from a video or two that I've seen online or hearing you guys talk about King Domino. I have not
Yeah.
played any of them or seen them in person. So sadly, I have very little knowledge here.
Yep.
Having said that, what I do know, my pick is King Domino.
Mine is as well.
That's everybody's pick.
Yeah.
But it's not the best game in there.
What's the best game in there?
Magic Maze is fan-freaking-tastic.
Co-op.
But that's your Captain Sonar brain talking here too, right?
It partially is, yeah. It's
Mhm.
co-op. It's got little quirks to it, like you can't talk during the game except when paused and things like that. But
And it's
Yeah,
timed and it's panic
it is
inducing.
timed.
And
It is, but it's not nearly. I hate Escape with a passion.
Oh, I love Escape.
The Curse of the Temple, freaking hate that game.
Oh,
It's
I
because
like
of the
that
stupid sounds.
one.
oh, see, sounds why I love that game.
I like the soundtrack for that.
That's
game.
that's
Magic
the
Maze.
best part of that game to me.
Magic Maze, the only sound you have is the sound of somebody slamming that do something action marker at you, going bang, bang, do something. And it's fun.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think I like Magic Maze as well. I haven't personally gotten to try it yet. I think the winning appeal of King Domino is very much where people think Splendor got robbed. This is one that you can see mass marketing very well and becoming kind of a classic. It's easy to teach. It's easy to learn. You can play it quickly. It plays well at 2. It plays well at 4. It's got little bits that you can change up pretty easily. It's pretty versatile. Small box, small price. Mass appeal.
I agree. I agree
it's
with
got-
all of that.
It's got Bruno, who has not
And
won
it's Bruno
yet.
Capella.
Who has not won yet.
Mm,
So
this could be the time.
Yep.
Dun,
Is-
dun, dun.
Is it really that political?
the way it sounds to me, it is. They'll say it's not.
I think that any award is always a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, a little bit, but
Yeah.
yeah, maybe. Paul, thank you. See, Paul's on my team. I know that it's because the stronghold is in there, and I appreciate. That's all right, Paul. He said that he's in the chat. He said that
Jerry
because
does like
there's
expandable games. That's true.
That's right. Yeah. See, Paul, keep going, buddy. We got this. I'm telling you.
And I mean,
all these are expandable.
for
I mean,
people
technically,
who don't know,
exit
the
game.
jury does not like to give stipulations for anything.
Yeah.
Really, truly, they don't like to give any, this is what we judge on guidelines. They really keep it so that people don't pander to it as best as possible. But people obviously do pander to it, but they're trying to.
Which is why Century Spice Road did not get the nom.
Because people were pandering?
Because one of the people on the whatever you call it, the panel, the jury, actually reviewed it and felt that it was just being pandering, somebody trying to create an SDJ game. Yes.
Now, see, and I just thought that maybe it wasn't eligible this year because it wasn't released yet.
It's available in Europe, and the German guy has been the German panelist reviewed it already. So
that's too bad for Emerson.
Yeah.
Emerson's great.
Yep.
And Century Spice Road definitely fits the niche of what they usually.
Yep, that and number 9 were 2 of my picks to be on there. Number 9 didn't get on it because one of the panelists said it wasn't a game.
Oh.
So they said it was a puzzle, which
that is
further.
Puzzles are good too, I think.
Yes. Which further brings me irritation that Exit was nominated, because what is Exit?
That is literally a box of puzzles.
Exactly.
That is all.
That's all it is.
I get mad every time I hear this whole "that's not a game" argument, because just stop it. If people want to sit and play this with their friends, whether it's a game or a freaking activity, who cares? These aren't all board games all the time either. Sometimes they're freaking card games, but we don't make big deals about that, right? Like, I just this semantic nonsense is ridiculous. I don't know. Spiel des Jahres always brings up the dumb arguments too, right? Like, there's always people that just get cranky about stupid crap.
Any awards do, but they specifically do because they don't give, like Kimberly saying, they don't give their criteria. They don't tell you what they're looking for. It just creates this whole aura of when they're just wrong. Grab pitchforks. Anyway.
All right, let's let Brandon describe Magic Maze for the people.
Okay, Magic Maze is a co-op, and it is a real-time co-op where you are one of 4 characters. Well, you're all 4 characters. My apologies. There's a barbarian, there's a wizard, there's a rogue, and then there's something else I've forgotten already. Everybody controls each of those, but everybody has limited movements. Basically, in front of you, you're going to have a card that's going to have a direction that you could move and a special ability that you have. And you may only move pieces in that direction during that game. And you are the only one who may use those special abilities on that board. And so what you do is you get set up, you're trying to get each of these guys to their weapon, and then you're trying to get them to the exits. Okay? The basic game is real easy. There's no tripwires, there's no tricks, there's no rules, like you can't have more than one on each tile. So the basic one's fairly easy. But you're doing this all in real time, and you can't talk during the game. You're literally not supposed to say anything. So they've got this little red, and I wish I would have brought it just to show you. It's just this red, meaty wooden piece that you're supposed to take, and you slam in front of somebody to say, you're supposed to be doing something. And it creates this really great tension. But ultimately, it's just a maze. You're trying to get your people around, and you control everybody, but you can only go one different direction. It does have different spots where you can pause the game, because it is all on a timer, and the timer is really weird. It's supposed to be a 4-minute timer, I think, but one side does 3 minutes 15 seconds, the other does like 3:45. So
you're such a nerd. You timed your timer.
I timed it like 14 times just to try to see where it averaged out at.
Jesus. Nerd. No, that's awesome.
But there are spots on it where you pause it. So you move a character onto that, you lay the sand timer down on its side, you discuss what you're going to do, and then you flip it over. So it's a way to increase your time. So, and if you're like Adrian from Mile High Game Guys, you do it at the wrong moment, so you shorten the time you have.
Oh, awesome. Good job.
Like literally, we had like 30 seconds left because he did it. He, for some reason, moved on. And we're like, well, shit, I guess we got to pause it. Oh, God, I said it.
I think we are allowed to say that one, just not
that one. Sorry.
Right?
fine. It's fine.
I'm pretty sure I've said that.
Yeah,
They're similar.
doesn't rhyme with duck. We're all right.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, Magic Maze I think is fantastic, and it's a first-time designer with this one, so I think that kind of goes against them.
Yeah,
But that's my pick.
that's kind of
That's
neat
fair.
that it is, though.
You know what's weird is that I don't mind Escape. I find it kind of it's fine. I like the soundtrack. The game
I like
I
itself.
think the
is
thing of it is
okay.
I don't like dice that much. I
Okay,
don't like
that's fair.
rolling and throwing dice.
That's fair.
And
I
that's
don't-
constantly dice, dice, dice.
Oh
Steam
yeah, you're
Park.
constantly checking dice.
Steam Park is almost exactly in the same boat for me.
Mhm.
I love Space Alert. I love Galaxy Trucker. I love XCOM. All three of those have that real time kind of nerve wracking thing. But for some reason, the other like, I just no. Captain Sonar made me crazy. I think it's because other people are depending on you in a way that is not
And-
transparent. I
And
don't
some
know.
jobs are more important than others. I mean, let's face it. If you screw up as the radar person or whatever, the radio person, yeah, you're screwed. You don't know where they are, right?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
some jobs are a lot more important than others in that one too.
That's fair. I don't know. That doesn't sound like one that I want to
What, Magic
seek
Maze?
out. Yeah, I don't want to see.
Ah,
I'll play it. That's one of those games that if somebody brings it over and says, "Hey, we're going to try this," I'd say fine. I'd play it once.
Yep.
I do not need to own it. I just don't.
Yep.
So, all right. We're all picking King Domino though.
Nope.
We are no. Brandon's going with Magic Maze.
Yep, I am.
Brandon's going Magic Maze. I'm going King Domino, even though Splendor got the snub. So
I always pick with my heart what I
You
think
know
is
what?
the best.
You know what? Because
Aw.
I like the idea of clear winners. I'm going to switch my pick and I'm going to take El Dorado
you
Eh.
do
because
It
that
would be
way-
big for
It'll probably
Canizia to
be
win
the one
another
that
one.
wins too.
huh?
It would be
Probably.
big for. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Kimberly.
Yeah. It's probably the one that'll win.
Yeah.
It'll be a big win for Canizia if it happens. It's been a while, but I think it'll kind of be considered a gift.
Okay. Is somebody
Very middling reviews.
Is somebody keeping score on who's picked what? I know I have
I'm
Terraforming
sure that
Mars.
my Matt will know. He remembers everything.
That's true.
from everybody.
I have Ice Cool, Terraforming Mars, and El Dorado. Mine are easy. Everybody just remember their own and nobody lie. That's all I'm
I
saying.
chose Matchy Dice, Prettiness.
That's
Oh yeah, the
As much as I
mysterious
hate-
forest.
much as I hate to make fun of you. That sounds very
I
much
can't
like
remember
you.
what it
That's,
was. Yep,
the
that's
only
the
thing
one.
missing is you using the word nugget somewhere in one of the
I
descriptions.
chose the winners in each of those. That's all
If I
that we
had
need.
gone further, Nugget probably would have.
You could talk a little bit about the recommendations being snubbed. Fabled Fruit probably could have been up there,
Yeah, that
and I'm
one's a
kind of surprised with Freedom and not getting a nom there. Clask was even nominated
Classic
or
is so
recommended.
great. It was recommended, yeah.
Yeah.
Classic
And then the
is a
others,
really good
I
one.
don't know. I heard a lot of good things about Word Slam, but I have not
Mm.
tried it.
I've not played it. Yep.
Yeah.
Temple de Shrekins. Why do I know that name?
I don't know that I'm
Nope, I don't know that one at all.
yeah, no idea. I don't know. All right. So that's our Spiel des Jahres stuff. Keep us to task on this, guys.
Yeah, keep us to task on that. But I don't think we should do the deep dive now. We're down to 12 minutes. I think we should.
I
That's
think
what we want to do.
all right. Well, I think we can do a few minutes on this.
That's not a very deep dive, though, Bill. You're talking like a 4-minute game description.
Of Carcassonne?
I mean, it's Carcassonne, but still.
Okay. Well, so here's the deal. We're going to assume at this point. Let's try. We'll try, and
I think we should just tell people what the format change is
Oh, for love of
going to
God,
be.
fine. Kimberly doesn't want to do it.
No,
Everybody-
I prepared for doing the Carcassonne, but I think we're doing a disjustice to it by only giving
Yeah, if you're going to do a deep dive, you don't do
it
5
should
minutes.
be an
talking
actual
about it.
deep dive, not 5 minutes,
All
one
right,
question.
All right. Well,
I'm
next
just
time.
saying.
Next time we do this, we won't have Spiel des Jahres stuff to talk about.
Exactly. It will be a focus on only that,
We'll-
but we should
we'll be able to
definitely
focus on-
discuss the format and take suggestions, right?
All right. Yes. Okay. So you know what?
Yeah.
Great. Good idea. So here we go.
Bill's
Really?
gonna cut me, guys.
No, tase maybe not cut. All right. So here we go. So the idea is that we are going to kind of. So let's just go. Let's just bear it all, so to speak. The idea here, folks, is that we kind of need to just because life, right? Sometimes it's hard to get guests lined up as regularly as we would like to. And so, but we want to continue providing weekly content. We don't want to feel like we are disappointing everybody. And so Kimberly came up with a really great idea, and we're going to run forward with it with this deep dive idea. So the idea is that we're going to take a game that is an established game, something that we've all played, that's been around for a while, something where we can look back on it with a more experienced eye and kind of dig a little deeper into the game, into strategies, and whether we think the game has aged well in the face of new game design techniques and graphic design and whatever, and then kind of pick the game apart a little bit and really give it some due justice. So what I would really like to see out of our lovely watchers is in the comments, give us games that you would like to see us dig into. It doesn't have to be particularly old. Okay, so we're not looking. Right. There isn't a time limit here. It's just more like something that's established. So, like Terra Mystica is a game that we're already thinking about, even though it's not that terrible old, but it's established and it's got a lot of depth, and we've all played it. Yeah.
Yep.
Brandon
was great.
Brandon's
I played it
his
twice
show.
with you.
Am I the only person you played it with?
Yep.
Oh,
I never bought a copy. I didn't. He didn't have any at Geekway. I didn't. Yeah.
Okay.
It's such a good game.
Yeah. So just so give some suggestions, guys, and we're not going to promise to cover everything that's suggested.
Right.
Oh, Kanban's such a good idea, Paul.
But Kanban's not very old at all, is it? How old is it? 3 years?
3
It's
years.
older than Terraforming Mars.
Well, yes, you said Terra Mystica.
Oh, you said Terra Mystica. I thought you were talking Terraforming Mars. Oh, we can deep dive Terra Mystica. I got like 40 plays of that one.
We can deep dive that one hard.
That's yeah.
I thought you said Terraforming
that was
Mars.
better. Yeah.
That's why I was confused. I'm like, when the
That's
hell
why I
did
gave you
play
the
Terra Mystica.
I was sitting here. I was like, Terra Mystica? You just said you wanted older titles that have,
What the
I was like, what the crap are you talking about?
Terra
confused.
Mystica,
Right.
not Terraforming Mars, my friends.
Paul
I do have a
suggested
tentative list.
Paul suggested Kanban. That was the other one that I said, which I adore. I don't know that game has been out quite long enough or that we've all played it enough.
Maybe next year.
Yeah, that's one for a little bit farther down the list.
I literally pitched this whole idea by saying F the cult of the new. Let's focus on some older games.
And Captain Bislot and I were having a conversation earlier tonight about that, about how it gets a little bit discouraging sometimes to look at your shelf of games and realize that there are 30 games on that shelf that you really desperately want to play and that never hit the table because you're always learning new stuff.
Yep.
And I don't mind learning new stuff. Like, I mean, the good captain has a copy of Anachrony that's probably going to make it to our house in the next couple days. And, he's got lots of stuff that I really want to play, but I also really want to play Goa, and I want to play Kanban again, and I want to play Terra Mystica more and actually play through the factions and whatever. So I think we just gotta. So anyway, so that's the idea behind the deep dive, is we're going to pick a game that's established, it's been around for a while. So come up with those suggestions, put them in the comments on the video, folks, or you can tweet them directly.
I'm reading them here. So far, I've got note for everything.
Okay, cool. But for those of you that are watching, maybe after the show ends, if you use the hashtag deep dive, I'll keep an eye on that, especially if you.
I'm nervous to see what else might be under that hashtag.
I'm not scared. I'll be the one looking. You don't have to look. That's fine. I got this. I'm not scared.
I'm kind of disappointed. I even brought props. I was going to, just bust out all the cards and stuff.
Kanban's on its. Kanban's getting reprinted, eh? Hey, Paul. Any chance that the board's going to be a little bit less confusing?
That board is actually perfect for what it does.
It is. It is functionally perfect. It's hard to teach.
Yeah, but you just go door to door to door to door to door to door to door.
It's great. It's great. It's great once you know how to play. That first game is really hard though, because it's very visually noisy. But once you know what to do,
it is. Awesome. There's a lot to take in.
So anyway, keep those suggestions coming. Put them in the comments on the YouTube video, which is different than the live chat, ladies and gentlemen. The comments thread is below the video, not to the right. So you can put them in the comments on YouTube. You can tweet them, hashtag deep dive, and we'll check them out there.
Oh, I'm really excited to check that hashtag.
Go for it. Give her help.
Search, safe.
I want to do a quick plug, really fast for
Get
the
it.
channel before we get out of here too. Number one, we launched some merchandise.
Oh,
We launched a merch sale. We actually sold a few of them, which was pretty cool. That'll help defray the costs because we had a custom website made and some graphic design stuff for the logos and all that stuff, plus hosting and all those other fun things cost money. So we're relaunching the t-shirt stuff tomorrow morning. The line will be up for another 3 days. So I will tweet out a link. Follow at Cubist Podcast on Twitter, and you can check that out. Or I'm sure I will retweet it from my personal account. But there's some really cool official swag you can pick up there: coffee mugs and hoodies and T-shirts and stickers and all kinds of fun stuff. So cool way to support the show. Don't forget, you can also hit us up on Patreon. If you go to thecubistpodcast.com, there's a link for that. We appreciate it. So real quick, Kimberly, people want to know more about you online. Where do they go?
At KJ Revia on Twitter and Instagram. Or you can find me running the Granite Game Summit stuff, granitegamesummit.com, and at G2 Summit. We have our next dates all lined up and prepaid and everything now. So we will be announcing very, very soon.
Very cool.
Get in on that action.
Excellent. Aquaman?
You can find me at the bottom of the. Oh wait,
under the sea. Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
I confused
bottom of the ocean. You can find me at VacaBCK on Twitter or at WDYPTW. Be sure to listen to our podcast. Also, coming up Wednesday, we do have a special conversation thing that people might want to listen to.
Yes,
Wednesday, the 24th of May.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just had to look at a calendar. So pay attention.
I thought it was Tuesday.
No, Wednesday.
Wednesday.
All right, I got it wrong.
Yep, I think there's going to be
noon EST.
right around noon Eastern.
Yep.
Other than that, you can just find me anywhere where I should be found. Some
There you
places I shouldn't be.
Wow, that sounds like he's inviting you to stalk him. I don't know about that.
Hey, he's reasonably pretty. I would stalk him. You can follow me personally on Twitter at Bill Corey Jr. I believe I am also at Bill Corey Jr. on Instagram. We haven't done an Instagram plugin forever, and all I ever take pictures of are board games, so it's actually pretty much relevant. You can follow the show at Cubist Podcast. Don't forget to hit up the website, www.thecubistpodcast.com.
Oh, hey.
All the stuff that you need to know is right on there, except for the merch. We're still working on getting the merch up on the website, but we'll get there, I promise. So
I forgot we have a new website.
Oh, get it.
WDYPTW.com. So visit us there too.
Checked it out yet.
yay.
And don't forget
Nothing
to use
exciting.
that
I put it
hashtag
live
yet.
and I'm still working on it. So
Yes. And use the hashtag at DeepDive, and we will
Hashtag deep dive, right? Not at deep dive.
hashtag deep dive. Sorry.
Hashtag deep dive. Give us some game suggestions or some questionable whatever, because that's a hashtag.
There you go. All right, folks. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the new format. This is fun for us. It's nice to do something a little bit more laid back. So,
Yeah, mix it up.
all right, take it easy, folks. We will catch y'all on the flip side. Be good.
bye.